Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We are joined by our friends from the Lowcountry Visitation Center, which is so cool. We have Laurie McCall and Regina Banis. So good to have you all here.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about what y'all do, the Lowcountry Visitation Center. Let's talk about that whole issue of visitation, the supervised visits. You all provide a space.
We do.
So cool.
So we provide a safe space and also a supervisor who is trained and can keep an eye on things, be the neutral party. So when non-custodial parents are not allowed to have visitation directly with their child, either because there's an issue there or maybe they just haven't been in contact with the child for a long time. So they're still establishing that relationship. We can be a neutral third party to facilitate those visitations.
Yeah. It's so important. I mean, it just takes the heat off of everybody in the situation. And you were a teacher for a long time.
I was a teacher for 17 years in alternative schools and programs. So this was like a perfect fit for my skill set. I'm good at building rapport with people and making people feel comfortable. And
in a neutral
no
environment.
Judgment. Like,
that's so.
We're just there to provide a safe space for the kids.
Sure. And so let's talk a little bit about historically or what generally can happen within families. So talk a little bit about how it's so beneficial to be with the service that you all provide in your space.
Sure. So for a lot of families, if the judge leaves it open, that supervised visitation can be, say, for example, anybody approved by the custodial parent. Well, then you've got to get the custodial parent and the non-custodial parent to agree on somebody. Generally, custodial parent doesn't want any of non-custodial's relatives to do it because they don't trust that if they do something wrong, they will report it or they will stop a visitation. Or they just can't agree on somebody, so then children go without seeing their parents for months at a time while parties bicker back and forth about who should supervise.
Sure, and the children are often in earshot of those conversations.
A lot of times.
You know, and that that leaves a mark, you know, that absolutely leaves a mark. And so this really just takes the heat off. So what does a visitation look like in your space?
Well, it can be a lot of different things. Depending on what's approved between our director, Regina Banis, and the custodial parent or guardian. We have a visitation center, and so some visits can take place there, and we have a variety of activities for different age groups. Like we have Uno, card games, Play-Doh, puzzles, whatever. Or if it's approved to be outside of the center, we're in walking distance of Old Town Bluffton, and so there's a park close by, Ben and Jerry's, Krabby's Corner, lots of local activities to get outside.
You all are right on Bluffton Road there, and right behind Peaceful Henry's.
That's right.
118 Bluffton Road there. Okay, perfect. Magnolia Business Village?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they can also be arranged to do like restaurants, bowling alley.
And so you just
go to the basketball court.
Whatever we have approved.
Yes.
And then you just show up there on the site.
We have like a certain arrangement, like the drop off and pick up, to keep everything cordial and safe. And
so we have the parent who is doing the visitation. They show up at the center first, and we spend about 5 minutes getting them settled in, reviewing the rules, what we're looking for, what we don't want to see during the visit, and then we meet the custodial parent out in the parking lot and bring the child in.
So they don't even have to cross paths.
They
really.
do not, and that's one of the advantages of the center. Now, if the visit would be completely outside of our space, like say we agree we're going to meet at the movies, then Laurie would meet the custodial parent and pick up the child, transport the child to the movies where she would meet with the non-custodial parent, and then at the end of the visit, the reverse. The non-custodial parent leaves, Laurie takes the child back to the custodial parent at a prearranged location, and visit's done. So it becomes very non-confrontational for the custodial and the non-custodial parent. Everything comes through us. They don't have to see each other or really deal with each other at all.
That's, in some cases, that's just, I mean, if you have a supervised visitation situation, there's clearly some, some strife there.
Right, and that's already stressful for the child, to be separated from a parent. And so this gives an opportunity for them to have good quality time together where they're physically, emotionally safe and can just enjoy time with that parent. And that can help alleviate some of the behavior problems, the stress and anxiety that the separation to begin with can cause for the child.
Absolutely. And so, I mean, just the amount of knowledge that you all have with this, the whole figuring out and decoding how to take care of this.
Right.
So
Right.
fantastic. What a great resource you all are. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
being with us today.
Thank you for
Thank
having us on
you.
today.
Lowcountry Visitation Center right in Old
That's
Town
right.
Bluffton.
Yes.
Thanks so much for being with us today. I'm your host, Carrie Dillon, and we will see you next time.